I was shocked. Not the kind of shock that makes you scream, but the kind that freezes your body and leaves your heart beating too loudly in your ears. It happened so suddenly. That evening, my husband didn't even sit down. He stood near the door, his bag still hanging from his shoulder, his face stiff, like someone who had already made up his mind. "She has to go," he said. I looked up from where I was sitting, confused. I even laughed a little. "What happened?" I asked. "Did she do something wrong? Tell me, so I'll know if it's something I can handle." He didn't look at me. "No," he replied. "I don't want her again. That's final." Something inside me dropped. This was the same girl who had lived with us for 2 years. The same girl who helped me raise my children. The same girl my kids ran to when they were hurt, calling her big sister. I trusted her. I loved her. I treated her like family. I had even enrolled her in tailoring classes so her future would be bright. But that night, my husband was cold. He said he would bring another girl to replace her. I didn't argue. But deep inside me, I knew something wasn't right. That night was strange. My husband barely touched his food. He snapped at the children for little things, then immediately apologized. Later, I heard him crying quietly in the bathroom. When I asked if he was okay, he said, "I'm just tired." But I had been married to him long enough to know this was more than tiredness. The next morning, he gave her a command. "Pack your things before I come back from work."
No tears, no argument, just silence. After he left, the house felt heavy. The kind of silence that presses against your chest. I called her to sit beside me. I spoke gently. "What happened between you and my husband? Tell me the truth. Did you offend him in any way?" She shook her head. "No, Ma." I held her hands. "Please, whatever it is, tell me. Don't be afraid. I love you like a sister. If you leave now, how will your tailoring training continue? I promise I'll keep it a secret." That was when she broke down. Her body shook violently. Tears poured from her eyes like a dam had broken. And then she said it. "I am pregnant. For your husband." The world stopped. I couldn't breathe. She continued crying, her voice shaking. "He wants to take me to a far place he rented until I give birth. We tried to remove it, but the doctor said I might lose my womb. So, we decided to keep the baby. I don't remember standing up. I don't remember sitting down. All I remember was the heat in my head, the shaking in my hands, and the sharp pain tearing through my chest. The girl I trusted, the man I married, under my roof. I cried quietly, because screaming wouldn't fix anything. That evening, my husband returned. When he saw my swollen eyes, he froze. "You know," he said softly. I nodded. For the first time in years, he sat down slowly and buried his face in his hands. "I never planned this," he whispered. "I was weak. I was lonely. I hated myself every single day. I wanted to shout. I wanted to slap him. I wanted answers. But none of that would change what had already happened. That night, our eldest child fell sick. As we rushed to the hospital, I watched my husband pace the corridor, praying silently, tears rolling down his face. In that moment, I saw his pain. But pain does not erase betrayal. Days passed. The house felt divided, like everyone was walking on broken glass. At a family gathering, people laughed and ate, but my husband sat alone, staring into space. His mother asked him, "Are you okay, my son?" He smiled and said yes. But his eyes told a different story. I had to make a decision. Not between anger and forgiveness,
But between my peace and my pain, I helped the girl leave, not in secrecy, not in shame. I made sure she was safe. I told my husband the truth. The child is innocent, but this marriage will never be the same. Today, I am still healing. Some wounds don't bleed, they echo. I am learning that loving someone does not mean destroying yourself to keep them comfortable. If you were in my shoes, what would you do? Would you stay? Would you walk away? Would you forgive? Or choose yourself? Because sometimes, the deepest betrayal comes not from enemies, but from the people we trusted most.